What's up? Welcome into Chicago Bears Now by Chat Sports. I'm Harrison Graham. We are live here on a Tuesday as usual. 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Central Time. Mark your calendars. Every week we go live at this time on Tuesday afternoons. I hope everybody enjoyed their holiday weekend. I certainly did. Spent some time at home with the wife and kid. Got to go out to the pool, so that was a good time. So lots of stuff going on with the Grams. Hopefully you guys had a good time as well. Shout out your city and let us know where you guys are watching from. And we will welcome producer Rouillier back. He's back in the Bears Now production chair.
Feels good to be back, fellas. It feels good to be back.
And you hear a little pep in his step, and we'll get him on screen in a second. You guys will know why. I'll tease it like this before we get him on. He was either going to have a lot of energy today or be completely cooked and have no energy whatsoever.
How you pop up on screen here?
But there's a reason he's in a good mood.
I am a Miami Heat fan. If you guys pay attention to the basketball scene, you do know the Miami Heat clinched their spot to the NBA Finals last night, defeating those little losers up in Boston in TD Garden yesterday. So that feels pretty good. And I'm pretty fired up. You're right, Harrison. I either was going to be in a good mood, having a good day, good energy, or I was going to be sad, depressed that the Heat blew a 3-0 lead. But we don't even think about that garbage.
We made it. And listen, rather the Heat than the Celtics. And Jimmy Butler, Bulls legend. Let's go.
And Max Strus. So 2 Bulls.
Max Strus.
2 former Bulls in the NBA Finals.
There you go.
So you know what? It could be counted as a 20% Bulls championship.
Yeah, we'll take it. And hey, Rollie's got a Heat channel going. We got a Bulls channel going now. So Chat Sports, we're pretty fired up about our NBA coverage as well. Let me get some shout-outs here. Then we'll get to the super chat from Sam. A. Dominguez in Los Angeles. We got Past in Minneapolis. Jaron Thomas in Noblesville, Indiana. Las Vegas, Nevada is where William is. Welcome back, Rollie, from Mike Nintendo. Frank says Hoboken, New Jersey. Kenosha, Wisconsin from Daniel. Junior Webster's in Peoria. Wyatt, what's up? He's hanging. Rollie's back, Wyatt. Rollie's back. Let's see. We got Larry in Charlotte, North Carolina. Kissimmee, Florida from Brian. Mississippi in the house. What's up, Anthony? Rockwall, Texas. That's just down the highway from us. Sammy in Eugene, Oregon. Wasim Khan in Irvine, California. Hey, Rollie, you're back. Look, he missed you.
Yeah, Wyatt, I missed you too. It's good to be back with some Bears fans. Like Harrison's mentioned, I've been very involved with some of our NBA content. Eastern Conference Finals watch parties, the new Heat channel that I'm the host of that we just launched. I know most of you guys are Bulls fans, but if you do want to check up with how Rollie's doing every now and then, you can subscribe to our Heat channel. I'll throw in the link.
Yeah, he'll throw the link in there.
Listen.
We'll throw our Bulls channel link in there in a bit as well.
There's the Heat link. It's in the chat. If you guys are so kind to hit that sub button, we're so close to 1,000. Who knows? One of you guys can be the 1,000 sub. But yeah, that's what I've been up to a little bit, more basketball. So
how about this? What are you willing to do if we reach 1,000 subs on the Heat channel during this stream? How many away are we?
We're like 14.
14 away. Listen, shot fun for 1,000?
You know what? Screw it. If you guys get us to 1,000 subscribers on the Heat Report, and that means you guys got to stick with us too. You can't subscribe. I do the shot fun and then unsubscribe. You stick with us, get a subscribe, get to 1,000 subscribers.
Show Rollie some love.
I'll do a beer shot fun, sure.
He'll chug a full beer.
There's the link in the chat. If you want to see a beer shot fun, get us to 1,000.
Links in there. We'll revisit this.
We're 8 away, so we'll get there. We'll revisit before we get into our official show, but we have some other things to show you guys as well.
Couple super chats here. Shout out to you guys. You guys had some trouble last time. It's pronounced Lactera. Okay, yes. There we go. Sam Lactera, we gotcha. I'm bringing the squad to this channel. Great content and bear down. Listen, Sam, I don't know who the squad is, but the more the merrier. Bring the squad to Bears Now, and let's make it happen. Appreciate the support. Raging Bull with the $10 super chat, and you just checked something off our super chat menu. He says, if we clinch the division this year and go to the NFC title game this year, let's have a party. I can promise you this, Raging Bull, if the Bears go to the NFC Championship game, we might stay up all night. We might be streaming all night after that divisional round win. If that happens, it will be a party. I can promise you that. Now, name a player that the Bears should cut. Let me know. June 1st is coming up, so some players could get cut around the league. Is there a player that you guys want the Bears to cut? And Chef1971 just says, subscribe, go Heat. Sammy R, subscribe. Heidi, subscribe, says, love Jimmy Butler. You love to see it, Rolly. We're going to get to 1,000. Get that shot fund ready.
I think we are. We're 2 away.
2 away.
Can we get to 1,000?
We're getting to 1,000.
Before we start our show.
Oh, Wyatt says, go Nuggets.
Wyatt,
your biggest fan.
Wyatt, I thought we were best friends. How could you go for the Nuggets? How could you go for the Nuggets? Shout out to everyone, though, who has subscribed. It's a lot of fun, and thank you. I am just going to go get stuff prepared.
He's doing a shot fun if we get to 1,000 on Heat.
I heard
Wyatt's in there.
Marshall's here.
He said go Nuggets, though, so Wyatt has gone against
He's gone rogue.
Rolly. Yeah.
What's up, Wyatt? Hope you're having a terrible day, my man.
Hey.
Later, dude.
Spread more fake news.
You want to get him a shot fun?
Yeah.
Dante Pettis, let's see, Lucas Patrick, Chase Claypool, Kendall Vildor, let's see, either Lucas Patrick or Cody Whitehair. Let's see, who else you got in there? Heat and 6. Rolly would be a very happy man if that happened.
Heat and 6. You mentioned Harrison partying for all night if that happens. If the Bears
Rolly
get to
will
the
be
conference
partying.
championship, man, I might be by myself, but I'll be partying all night.
Tim says Lucas Patrick, Tristan Ebner, Valus Jones, Cody Whitehair. So lots of people coming in the chat. Get to our next question here. Name a free agent the Bears should sign. So on the flip side, you cut someone. Who do you want the Bears to sign now? Let us know in the comment section down below. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Bears just tweeted something. Just a Justin Fields thing. Okay, Cody Whitehair as a cut. Yannick Ngakoue, that's a popular one. Nicholas, D'Angelo, Saquads, Barkley, Rentifer, D-Hop. Let's see, Ngakoue, Clowney, Joker for the sweep. That would hurt Rolly's soul. Are you okay? Let me ask you this, Rolly. Are you like content at this point? Like if the Heat lose in the finals, are you like, you know what? We got to the finals, or are you greedy now? You're like, I want to go all – I mean, obviously you want them to win, but, like, nothing could be considered a disappointment at this point, right?
So I am actually crossed the point to where this season, even though if they were to lose to the Nuggets, I would be heartbroken. I'm not one of those loser fans. It's like I'm just happy to be here, so I'm not going to be upset they lost in the finals. But I will say, now that they have defeated – the Celtics.
Especially beating the Celtics.
I feel
that
much better about this season ending without a championship. Because, they were able to beat the Knicks, and I hate the Knicks.
They knocked down the top seed.
They beat the top-seeded Bucks. They beat the Celtics, who I have a bunch of Celtics friends, and I hate the Celtics. So that feels good to get by them. So I know if they put up a good fight, though, if they lose in 4 or 5 games at Denver, which could be possible, I would be devastated because you get that far and you put up no effort. But if it goes 6 or 7, listen, second 8 seed ever to make the NBA Finals. If they win, they'd be the first 8 seed ever to win. 1999 Knicks were the only other team to make the finals as an 8 seed. So the Heat are already making history. So
we'll see what happens. Here's our Super Chat menu today. $10 is a shot of Fireball, which I already got to take one. We got a $10 Super Chat earlier. $50, you can get your sticker on the Justin Fields boot. We'll write your name and get it on the boot if anyone wants to donate $50. And if anybody is feeling frisky and wants me to do a beer bong, Rolly's already going to have to do a shot fun, I think, for getting to 1,000 subscribers on the Heat Report. $100, I'll do a beer bong as well. So let's make it happen. Here's shot number 1. Cheers. I figured second to last day of May, well, we'll spice things up today if you guys are into that sort of thing. So there's our Super Chat menu for anyone who is interested. By the way, who's ready for the NFL season? Because we are 100 days away from kickoff. This is actually 100 days away from the opening Thursday night game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions. So type F Don Burr in the chat. But also type 100. We're getting closer. Daniel says 100. Wyatt, Mike Nintendo saying 100. Thomas says Caleb Haney coming after Justin Fields' job. Who the hell knows what Caleb Haney is doing these days? P says 100. H. Scott says 100. So does the Gabe, Abe Williams, Richard, Wasim, Chef. We got Burke, Nicholas Rishi, Brian Lemons all saying 100. Heidi in the chat as well. Frank saying F. Don Burr. Ralph Novanoy. We got John Arundel, Chris Aldridge, Frank Quiros in there. We got Miguel saying FGB. Wyatt says, what are we doing today? We're going to tell you in a minute what the segments are, Wyatt. I know you're eager. RDA, Robert, Nick, Kenny, Concept, Alan, Luke. Too much field say, already tired of it. Yeah, we just need to get to the season, man, so we can let this thing play out. Frank, Chris, Antonio, Mike, Chris Ashford, all type in 100 as well. So we're going to be there before we know it. All right, before we jump into today's live stream, if you love the Bears, like this video. Can we get to 100 likes? We got 250 people watching, 45 likes. Let's get to 100. Let's keep the 100 theme going. Once we cross 100 likes, shout out to Jess for typing 100 as well. Chris Aldridge. We will jump into today's show. So hit that like button. Mike has already liked it. You guys can let me know once you've liked it for a shout out. RDA says, how you doing? What's up, RDA? I'm doing well. I am doing well. Appreciate you for tuning in to the show. All the love and support is greatly appreciated. Fields for MVP, that'd be fun. Wasim has liked it. 25 likes away. We're at 75 likes. Let's get to 100. William has liked it. Daniel, I like that question. Throw hashtag Bears on it, and we will answer it during our mailbag. Wyatt says, I don't like basketball. More reason to go for the Heat. Why are you going for the Nuggets if you're already not a huge basketball guy anyway? Support your guy, Rolly.
Support my happiness.
Exactly. Kenny says Bears, 9 wins. Let's get it. Roshan, RB1 by week 4. A lot of good questions coming in, but the way to get those on the show is by using hashtag Bears. So here's what's coming up on today's show, the latest Bears news and rumors. Live Q&A, hashtag Bears, or you can super chat to get your questions on the show, hashtag Bears or super chat. And then also post June 1st free agent targets, some players that the Bears can keep an eye on, including some that could get cut after June 1st to save certain teams more cap space. So a few of those players aren't free agents yet, but they could be between now and week 1. So all of that and more is coming up. If you have a question, use hashtag Bears or super chat, $10 super chats. We're taking shots on the show. Yeah, go ahead and set it up just in case. 1 second, guys, as Rolly gets something ready to go. Here we go. Hashtag Bears, super chat, all that and more coming up on the show. Today's episode of Chicago Bears Now is presented by True Classic. Get 25% off at trueclassic.com/chat with promo code chat. Love their golf polos and all their other gear as well. It's True Classic. Upgrade your wardrobe. All right, we got a Bears Rumors Roundup to get into. 3 topics for you guys here on a Tuesday. Should the Bears sign Jimmy Garoppolo? And you're thinking, Jimmy Garoppolo? He's under contract. One Smokin' Jay, this actually could happen, albeit it is very unlikely. Let me explain how this could even happen. Obviously, he did sign with the Raiders, but Jimmy Garoppolo, in kind of a bombshell report, had foot surgery after signing with Vegas, and based in his contract, there's kind of a clause in there that the Raiders can cut him with no financial penalty if he is unable to pass a physical. And as of now, he is still not healthy. The Athletic came in and said if Garoppolo were to get cut at some point, the Bears could be a team that makes sense to sign him. Now, this is a fascinating situation because obviously Garoppolo was signed to be the Las Vegas Raiders quarterback. They moved on from Derek Carr, signed Jimmy G. Josh McDaniels has that connection with him. Now, here is how Garoppolo could get cut and how the scenario could happen. I kind of already mentioned it, but if he cannot pass a physical, and it sounds like he has kind of a complicated foot injury that required a surgery that he's still recovering from, the Raiders can release him with no dead cap penalty. If they just decide, you know what, we're not going to do this, they can cut him with no penalty. So that is very much a possibility. Now, I don't think the Raiders will do that, but what if they go through training camp, Garoppolo's not out there? What if a preseason game or two goes by and he hasn't gotten out there, and they're like 2 weeks before the season, they're like, Jimmy Garoppolo has had no reps with these wide receivers whatsoever. And what if they're like, you know what? We're going to tank. We're going to cut Jimmy G, start Aiden O'Connell, a fourth-round rookie, and draft Caleb Williams next year. Could a team like the Bears sign him as a backup to Justin Fields? What do you guys think? If he were to become available, would you sign Jimmy Garoppolo, Arlington Heights native, by the way, to be the backup to Justin Fields? Type S for sign or type P for pass. Fascinating scenario if this were to happen. Let me know if you'd be interested in doing it down in the comment section below. Now, Vic Tafur and Tayshaun Reed kind of combined to do this article about this Jimmy Garoppolo situation, and here's what they had to say when it ties into what he could do if he were to get cut. He says maybe Garoppolo could go back home, be an insurance plan for the Bears and Justin Fields, or maybe the Dolphins add him because of his familiarity with former Niners assistant Mike McDaniel. Now, you look at the QB depth chart. Obviously, Fields is your starter, and that would still be the case with Garoppolo, but P.J. Walker is your backup, Nathan Peterman, Tyson Bagent. So a couple things to consider. One, P.J. Walker stylistically, in terms of if Fields were to get hurt, obviously fits better, right? He's mobile. You can do some of the QB run stuff with him that obviously Garoppolo can't do. But let's be honest here. While Jimmy Garoppolo may not be an ideal backup stylistically, one, he knows the system, playing in the Shanahan-style offense for several years, and two, he's much more proven than P.J. Walker. If he got cut right before the season and you could get him for dirt cheap, I would be interested. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. Like, what if you could sign Jimmy Garoppolo 2 weeks before the season for $3 million? You're telling me you wouldn't do that if the Bears still have $20+ million in cap space by then? I would consider it, and that's no slight against P.J. Walker. Maybe you still keep him around, but if you're in playoff contention this year and Fields has to miss a game or two, would you rather have Jimmy Garoppolo out there or P.J. Walker? I would rather have Jimmy Garoppolo, considering his history as a starting quarterback in this league and in this system. Now, True Classic, that's a no-brainer, even if you think signing Jimmy Garoppolo isn't. Father's Day is just around the corner, and True Classic is the perfect gift this Father's Day. They've got awesome t-shirts, polos, chinos, and jeans as well. They've really expanded, and they've kind of redone my wardrobe, if I'm being honest. I have several t-shirts, several polos, and I kind of dropped a hint over the weekend, over the holiday weekend of, hey, Father's Day's coming up, to my wife. I was like, honey, if you want to get me some clothes, True Classic, great deal, 25% off. Code chat at trueclassic.com/chat. I love their shorts as well. Got a couple pairs of those. They've got hoodies, all kinds of stuff. Simple, but very comfortable and stylish clothes. Like, you don't have to have all these crazy colors going on at once to feel good and look good with True Classic. They've got joggers as well. trueclassic.com/chat, code chat to get 25% off at checkout. And a cool thing about True Classic is if you buy in bulk, these like 3-pack, 6-pack, 9-packs, like this 9 polo pack, only $13 per polo. That is an absolute steal. Go check out True Classic. That link is in the comments and in the description of this video. trueclassic.com/chat, promo code chat to get going today. Okay, let's go to our next story here on our Bears Rumors Roundup. Should the Bears sign Chase Roullier, former center from the Washington Commanders? I'll go two smoking Jays. People are talking. I could see how this makes sense, considering the somewhat uncertainty at center with Cody Whitehair and Lucas Patrick. NBC Sports Chicago threw out this idea. Now, Rouillier was released by Washington back on May 5th. He's had some injuries the past couple of years, but he is a veteran center with experience in this wide zone running scheme that the Bears obviously run. So, two smoking Jays, I could see it being a possibility. Now, injuries have been a concern at times in his career, especially the past 2 years. His first year, he just wasn't a full-time starter, so that one's not really a big deal, missing a few games. Played all 16 and 18, missed a couple in 2019, played all 16 in 2020, but then the last couple of years played 8 games in 2021 and just 2 games this past year. So that's obviously a concern. He's played only 10 of 34 possible games the past 2 seasons. But you go back to that 2020 year when he played all 16, this is a well-graded center, right? Like overall, just under 77, well above average per PFF's grading system. Really good in pass blocking, 84.3. Good run blocker as well, 72.4. Only had 5 penalties and gave up just 1 sack, which that's obviously a bonus as well, considering last year Sam Mustipher had Justin Fields running for his life. Now, obviously, Sam Mustipher isn't the guy this year, but Cody Whitehair and Lucas Patrick are your 2 primary options at center. And not that they're bad options, but one, Cody Whitehair could be cut as a post-June 1st designation, could save you almost $10 million. 2, he has not played center since, I believe, 2019. And then also Lucas Patrick, who he signed to be your starting center last year, played 2 series the entire season and then got hurt with an injury. He was playing some guard before that, playing with a broken hand, but finally got to play center. 3rd drive of the game, gets hurt. Boom, he's out for the year. Could Rouillier come to Chicago? If the Bears aren't sold on Cody Whitehair moving back to center for whatever reason, like say he doesn't look the part, had some injuries last year, or Lucas Patrick doesn't feel like a starter to this staff, Rouillier is an intriguing option. He's still only 29 years old. It's not like he's old. 1-year deal shouldn't cost you that much. Starting caliber center when healthy, it's something to consider. I think this would probably be a later in the offseason type of signing. Like you go through OTAs, mandatory minicamp. Maybe you are leaning into training camp and you're like, you know what? I don't love where we sit at center. Let's see if Chase Roullier would come in and compete for that starting job, or hell, get the starting job here in Chicago. Would you sign the veteran center Chase Roullier? Type Y for yes, or you can type in for no. I think right now I would hold off, but I would keep this option open in the back of my mind if I was Ryan Poles, assuming he stays a free agent. He could obviously sign at any time, but if he's sitting out there and you're in a bind, he's a decent option, no doubt about it. Now, Bears offseason coverage on the daily can be found right here at Chicago Bears Now. We're bringing you videos on a daily basis, weekly live shows as well, every Tuesday, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Central Time. So hit that subscribe button. Don't miss out here on Chicago Bears Now. We will continue to plug out videos on a daily basis. Could the Bears win 9 games in 2023? Is that going to happen? 2 Smoking Jays. People are talking. I definitely think it's a possibility. Now, I'm not going to go full homer here and say 3 or 4 Smoking Jays like it's for sure going to happen, but 2, I think it could happen. A couple reasons I think that. But first, Greg Gabriel, who I respect his opinion a lot, former front office guy and does some work with WC Gridiron, says that he thinks the Bears could win 9 games. Now, the Bears locally have drawn some hype. I don't think the national media is quite on board yet, but those who pay close attention, this team has made a lot of roster improvements. Plus, the schedule is pretty manageable compared to last season. Here's Greg Gabriel on the Bears 2023 outlook. He says, "We already discussed how the national media feels that the Bears will be cellar dwellers this season. I don't believe that for a minute. In fact, I believe this team can win 9 games in 2023. Now, he went on to give some reasons in his article why he thinks the Bears could jump from 3 to 9 wins. First thing he mentioned was the wide receiver group is much improved. He mentioned the DJ Moore trade. Chase Claypool with the full offseason. He thinks that even though the fan base is kind of down on him, now that he's got a full offseason to really get the playbook down and get in sync with Justin Fields, that should help. Obviously, they added guys like Tyler Scott as well. Also mentioned the offensive line group being stronger. You draft Darnell Wright. Whether it's Cody Whitehair or Lucas Patrick at center, those guys are both upgrades from Sam Mustipher. Another year of Braxton Jones, Nate Davis in the fold too. Running game, he thinks should be even better, even though they lost David Montgomery, Roschon Johnson, Deontay Foreman, couple of additions, another year of Khalil Herbert. Still have Justin Fields, who's a dynamic runner, obviously. And then he mentioned the defense should be improved. I don't think he said the defense was going to be awesome by any means, but he basically was like, the defense was so bad last year, it can't be worse, right? Even though there's question marks on the defensive line, you've still made additions there, especially on the interior. You add DeMarcus Walker. The secondary could actually be pretty nice, and the linebacking group is much better. You had Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, etc. So I think you add all that up, and it's not crazy to think this team could be around 500 and maybe even sneak 9 wins out in a manageable schedule, which you look at the schedule. I mean, very real chance you start 2-0, Green Bay at home, at Tampa. I don't know if you've seen clips from Tampa OTAs. Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask are having trouble complete passes against air. I mean, it's really tough to watch. At KC, going to be tough, but then you got Denver at home, manageable. At Washington, winnable game. Vikings, Raiders at home, those are winnable. Chargers will be hard, obviously, but the point is you keep going through this schedule, and a lot of winnable games. At New Orleans, that's a winnable game. Panthers at home, you should win that game. Hopefully you split with Detroit and Minnesota. At Cleveland, that's probably a tough one, but then you got Arizona and Atlanta at home, very winnable games. None of these are guaranteed, but winnable games. At Green Bay as well. I also predicted 9-8 on my initial schedule analysis. You just got to win more of the 50-50 games. Last year you went 1-8 in one-score games. Can't happen. You got to at least go 500 in those tight games, and then find a couple that you probably shouldn't win, that you find a way to win this year as well. So we'll see. I think this roster's in a much better spot. I don't think it's a title contender, but playoff contender, I don't see why not. I think it's definitely on the table if things go right for this football team. Predict the Bears 2023 record. Drop a guess in the comments. Remember, 17 games, not 16. My early prediction remains 9-8. So does Greg Gabriel's. What say you? Go ahead and predict a record down in the comments. Okay, we'll get to those super chats here in a bit. We can flash that menu again as well before we hop into this mailbag. Let's see. 10-7 from Markel. Brian says 12-5. NFC champs. That'd be awesome. Daryl Upton, 10-7. 17-0 is risky. It's also just reckless. This team's not going 17-0. Thank God for Bears Kool-Aid, 17-0. Realistically, I say 7-10. A lot of winnable games last year, and the Bears won 3. That's true, but they also had a much worse roster a year ago. 6-11, 7-10, 9-8, 10-7, 11-6 from Abe. Lord Pionix says 10-7, 12-5 at best. I mean, you say that like that would be bad. Like if you went 12-5, you were winning the NFC North, barring this division being much better than expected. 6-10-1. 14-3, so we'll see. Should be interesting. Ken, was this a 20 bomb? 10 bomb. Just 20. Wait, really? This converts to just 10? Oh, it is yellow. Okay. Well, yeah. We got you, Ken. How about this? Rolly and I will each take a shot for that one. Art Solo says, would the Packers tank for Caleb Williams? I don't think intentionally, at least to start the year. I think they want to give Jordan Love the opportunity to prove he can be the guy. It's a good point, though, Art. Like, you want Jordan Love to be just good enough so that Green Bay doesn't get Caleb Williams. That would be so Packers to go from Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and then to Caleb Williams. I would be in
also
shambles.
Can't let him get Drake May.
That too.
Because Drake May would be better than Aaron Rodgers and Favre combined.
Stop. Appreciate the super chat. Here is our super chat menu. So Rolly and I are each going to take a shot for Ken. So shout out Ken. $10, we're taking shots. $50, you can get your sticker on the Justin Fields boot here. And then $100, I'll do a beer bong. Which, by the way, Rolly, do we have a subscriber check on the Heat Report?
Yeah. I'll check. We're close. I think we're under 5 subscribers away.
From 1,000?
From 1,000.
So we're closing in.
So if you want me to take a beer
shot fun. Show them this thing.
It's hard to fit it in here.
It's like a plastic toy gun that you put a beer in, you close it, you chug it.
And I would chug it. If you want me to do that for free, subscribe to the Heat Report.
Yeah, Rolly's our Heat Report host. We just launched a Miami Heat channel. Do it for Jimmy Butler.
I just threw it in the chat. If you love me, which would be nice.
Yeah, support Rolly.
If you love basketball talk, just basketball in general, or if you want to support Jimmy Butler, Max Strus, former Chicago Bulls, hit that subscribe button. I'll take a beer shot fun when we hit 1,000.
There you go.
And we're like really close. So if we can get there, that'd be pretty awesome.
Let's see what my analytics are saying here. How close are we? YouTube Stewed always has me locked in. I'm seeing 1,001, Rolly. 1,001.
Look
so
at that.
We'll double check and make sure that holds.
Oh!
got Sam Electora dropping a 50. Shout out, Sam. I'll be honest, Rolly. I really want to bring back the boom.
The boom. That's
got to get a hundy, though.
It's
Got to
so
get a
tough.
hundy. Sam dropping a 50, though. What a legend. He says, give me 40-year-old Jay Cutler with a carton of lit cigarettes before signing Jimmy G as a backup. That sounds like an awful use of cap space no matter. Yeah, Sam, in this scenario, this is like the extreme scenario where the Raiders, like 10 days before week 1, cut him, and Garoppolo, like, doesn't have any options. And he's like, I guess I'll play for $3 million, you know? So, yeah, I wouldn't give him any real money, but if it's $3 million, like, I would sign Jimmy G for $3 million as my backup.
This is so cold.
Well, you can do it after this. We don't.
I think after the mailbag.
After the mailbag, he will do it.
This
and
thing
we'll
is
race. I'll do
freezing
my I'll do my beer bong after this mailbag as well. So Sam, we'll get you covered here. Also getting you a sticker on the Fields boot here. Let me write this down. Shout out to Sam, our MVP today.
Wyatt, I see you're rooting for the Nuggets, but are you not going to subscribe? Wyatt, I'll be kind of devastated if you're not subscribing.
I'm not going to lie. You're kind of a legend in the office for being Rolly's biggest fan, so this would be a bad look if you don't subscribe to the
I'll say this. I'll love Wyatt no matter what, but I will be mentally devastated if I find out he's not subscribed.
That'd be a tough one. That'd be a tough one to look past. Did we take those shots?
I did.
I think I did too. Did I?
I took a shot.
I think I did. You know what? I'll just take another one for the people.
I think you did too. I know I definitely
I'm
did.
feeling generous today, Rolly. It's, we're coming off a holiday weekend. It's all
Wyatt,
good.
you said you don't know how to get there. I put it in the chat. Wyatt, I'll put it in there again.
Wyatt, the link is going in the chat.
That's the sub button.
Go sub. There you
Hit
go.
that link.
Then
hit
click
that sub
subscribe.
button.
Hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get your questions on the show. After this mailbag, I will do a beer bong in the Merbonga. Rolly's going to do a shot fun. We'll race. And if we get more 50s, we'll do more. So there you go. Hashtag Bears or Super Chat. Or, more hundreds, actually. So I already promised I'd do one, though. So I'll tell you what. Just 50. Doesn't need to be 100 today. Just 50. All 50s. Do 100, I'll do 2. How about that? Hashtag Bears or Super Chat. Get your questions on the show, and we will answer as many as we can coming up here on Chicago Bears Now. So appreciate all of the support, and we'll get this thing popping.
We need more questions.
Ooh, Rolly's calling out the people.
I'm not calling
I've seen a lot of questions come through without hashtag Bears.
I'll also say this.
I've seen a lot of lowercase hashtag
There's a
Bears,
select
though.
few that are sending in a lot of questions. I appreciate that.
Let's get more
But I
people.
want to get a more well-rounded mailbag.
here.
So it's not just the same 4 or 5 people asking questions. So make sure you guys all get a question.
Ask about free agency, trades, OTAs, whatever. Get those questions in. That way, producer Rolly can find the best ones and get them answered on the show. So hashtag Bears, Super Chat. The Rams just signed Tyler Johnson.
Really?
Bucks and Texans legend. So there you go. Oh, Wasim, we'll kick off with his question.
Nice.
That's how we'll start the mailbag. Wasim. And then we'll take a shot. I'll take a shot after the mailbag for that one as well, Wasim. $10 Super Chats, we're taking shots. Ready to go, Rolly? All right, here we go. Mailbag time. Super Chat to guarantee your spot, or you can use hashtag Bears. It is mailbag time here on Chicago Bears Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, as always, Harrison Graham. We're going to answer as many questions as you guys send in, or at least as many as we can get to. So use hashtag Bears, or you can Super Chat. Shout out to Wasim for sending in a $10 Super Chat to kick things off. He says, FGB, F Don Burr, sorry Rolly, Nuggets and 6. How active do you see the Bears being post-June 1st? I think fairly active. I don't think, once the clock hits midnight on June 1st, they're going to go sign 7 players. But, Ryan Poles is opportunistic. He'll see what's out there, and we'll go from there. I think some players around the league could get cut after June 1st, so we'll keep an eye on those names, and we'll see if any of them could make sense for the Bears. Raging Bull with the 10 as well. Appreciate it. If we clinch the division this year and go to the NFC title game, let's have a party. I'll tell you what, guys. Subscribe to the channel. If the Bears go to the NFC Championship game, number one, you'll know that we're going to be live for every single game. So that includes playoff games if the Bears make it there. Knock on wood. Hopefully that happens. And if they advance to the NFC title game, we will be partying on the channel for a very long time. So, yes, that will happen, Raging Bull. From Art Soto, would the Packers tank for Caleb Williams? I hope not. I think they're, in all seriousness, they'll give Jordan Love every chance to be the guy this year. But if he's underperforming at a high, in a bad way early on, they could end up just kind of tanking the season and trying to get the number one pick, which we do not want that to happen. I don't think they'll be bad enough where that happens, to be frank. But we've suffered through Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers for 30 years. We don't need the Packers getting Caleb Williams. Like, they deserve to be in some QB purgatory for a few years. So the hope is Jordan Love is just good enough that he would return the next year. But we'll see. I would not be surprised if the Packers ended up with Caleb Williams because it's the Packers, and they always get good quarterbacks. Sam Lectara with the $50 super chat. He says, give me 40-year-old Jay Cutler with a carton of lit cigarettes before signing Jimmy Garoppolo as a backup. That sounds like an awful use of cap space no matter what discount you get. Now, Sam is referring to the fact that the Raiders, a report came out, can cut Jimmy G with no dead cap penalty if he fails a physical before week 1 because he had foot surgery. I suggested sign him for dirt cheap right before the season if he were to get cut. I understand if you don't want him, but if they were to add him, it's not like they would invest big money into him. It would just be a little more insurance for Justin Fields. Walter the GOAT, is Khalil Herbert going to be the Bears' RB1? For now, I have him as the starting running back. I think as a pure runner, Herbert is probably the best runner in this system, but he's not great as a pass catcher. That's an area he needs to improve at. And an area he really needs to improve at is as a run blocker and blitz pickup guy. He really struggles in that way. He's got to be able to pick up blitzes on third down, and if he can't, he's not going to be playing a ton of third downs. That's where Roschon Johnson comes into play. Deontay Foreman can do some of that. So I think he will get the nod to be this team's starter to start, but that may not hold. I mean, Roschon and Deontay Foreman are two solid players that are going to have a lot to say about that. I think that competition is going to be very, very real in the Chicago Bears backfield. So we'll see. Shout out to Walter the GOAT, Walter Payton, the true GOAT of the Chicago Bears. Richard Lococo, what do you think the Panthers' record will be this year? Hopefully 0-17 and the Bears get the number one pick again. I don't know. If they were in any division but the NFC South, I think it would be pretty poor, but that division's bad, so they could sneak a few wins and even compete for that division. I hope that's not the case. I mean, worst case scenario for the Bears is Carolina wins that division because then that pick is, 18th at best. So, yeah, hopefully they don't win the division. If they miss the playoffs altogether, you're guaranteed a top 17 pick from Carolina. So hopefully it's even worse at the end of the day. But I'll say like 6-11. I don't think it's going to be a bottom 1, 2, or 3 team, but I do think there'll be a bottom 6 or 7 team. Give me a top 10 pick. That's what I'm hoping for from the Panthers. Now, who is your least favorite Bear of all time? Pick a guy. Least favorite Bear in franchise history. Maybe it was a guy who literally was here for a game. Maybe you're thinking of a guy like Amir Smith-Marset, who had a brief stop last year and fumbled the game away against Minnesota. Let me know who your least favorite Bear of all time is. How many UDFAs will make this roster? I don't know. I mean, could Tyson Bagent beat out Nathan Peterman and make it as a third-string QB? I kind of think practice squad's more likely there. I don't think any receivers make it because you're deep there. Potentially a tight end. They signed Steven Carlson as a vet after rookie minicamp. He's not a rookie technically, but maybe he could fit that mold. Maybe an offensive line sneaks in there. We'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, I think we got to see how it plays out. D'Anthony Jones, defensive lineman out of Houston. That's a name to watch during OTAs and minicamp as well. RDA, you guys think the Bears are looking at Hopkins? I honestly think our wide receiver room is okay as it is. I don't think the Bears are going to be that interested here. He signed with Clutch Sports, which means he's not taking a discount Now the Bears can pay; they have cap space, but I mean, who's reducing their role if you sign Hopkins? I mean, him and DJ Moore would be your top two guys. I mean, you'd probably just throw Mooney in the slot. You're punting on Chase Claypool already if you sign Hopkins. I think Hopkins is better, but he's going to be 32 next year. Like, I just don't think the Bears fit his timeline, and I don't think he fits the Bears either. Abe Williams, who would win a starting spot first, Dexter or Pickens? On the defensive line, Javon Dexter or Zach Pickens? I'll go Dexter. I mean, they drafted him higher. I think he's a little more explosive, so we'll see. I think both these guys have a chance to contribute right away, but in terms of who will start, time will tell. Hopefully they both end up starting, because then that would be two good draft picks. All right, Bulls fans. I know we got a lot of Bulls fans here on Chicago Bears now. We've launched a Bulls YouTube channel here at Chat Sports as well. The link is down below. It's youtube.com/@BullsReport. Go subscribe. I made my Bulls report debut last week, and it looks like I might be hopping on about one video per week over there. So if you guys want more from me, and if you are Bulls fans, stay in the loop. youtube.com/@BullsReport. That link will be in the description of this video and in the comments. Go subscribe. Go show my good pal Patrick Seatman, one of our producer on-air guys here at Chat Sports. He's in charge of that channel. Go show him some love by subscribing over there. And if you want daily Bulls videos, that's the channel for you. From Wyatt, do you think the Bears will bring Leonard Floyd back? I hope so. He was a stud, but you see that Bobby Wagner got cut, but he re-signed, and he almost lost in 7. Should have won a long time ago. Kind of all over the map here, Wyatt, but I'll focus on Leonard Floyd. I think it's possible. He's been pretty much just a 3-4 guy in the NFL, and obviously the Bears run a 4-3, but you need pass rushers. You only had 20 sacks last year, so I would be open to signing Leonard Floyd. From Rentifer, what is the number one thing the Bears improve on this year? I hope it's the passing game. And I hope it's just Justin Fields in general, but especially as a passer. Lazy people out there say he can't throw. He can. It's just about being more consistent with it. I think he's got proper weapons around him now. I think a full year in this system should help. But yeah, I think that needs to be the thing that improves more than anything, is a reliable passing game. Doesn't have to be a top 5 passing attack. How about top 20? Top 20, top 22 passing game with how good this team is going to be able to run the ball? That would make me pretty happy. From Tyler Coffey, when will the Bears get an edge, soon or after minicamp? We'll see. They might wait until after mandatory minicamp, and you got 5 weeks there between minicamp and training camp. That's when a lot of teams kind of reevaluate where they're at roster-wise, and kind of another wave of free agency typically hits late June, early July, so that could be a time. Maybe they do it after OTAs before minicamp. Who knows? We'll see. A lot of the edge rushers out there, I think, are purposefully waiting because they don't want to go to OTAs, so they could just be waiting as well. So we'll see. I would say between now and training camp is kind of the window for that. From Go Bears, Micah Parsons keeps hyping up Justin Fields. Could Chicago trade for him or sign him one day? Now, obviously, he's only played, a couple years in the NFL, but he's been fantastic, right? You look at his 2 seasons in Dallas, 26.5 sacks with over 13 each of his first year. A lot of pressure, good pressure rate. He can play edge. He can play a linebacker. And he does hype up Fields a lot. Like, he's gone out of his way to, go public with how good Justin Fields is. And some people are like, could he be a Bear? I'm not saying that. Like, Dallas ain't trading him. I'll tell you that right now. But a couple years go by, maybe the Cowboys have to enter some kind of rebuild or something like that. You never know. I would certainly love to have him in Chicago. Micah Parsons is an absolute stud. Name a player that the Bears should trade for. Listen, I would probably trade both my first next year to get Micah Parsons. I know that sounds crazy, but I would definitely consider it. Let me know what you guys think. Name a player that you think the Bears should trade for. Juan Espinoza, do you think the Lions are being overhyped to win the NFC North? I don't know if they're being overhyped, but I don't think they're going to be able to live up to the hype. Like, it's Detroit. On paper, they're the best team. I will freely admit that. But games aren't won on paper. It's won on the gridiron. You got to execute. You got to play well. Is Jared Goff going to be able to handle all this attention? I mean, they put this team to start the season Thursday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, If they get railroaded in that game, the pressure is only going to ramp up. I don't think they live up to the hype. I think they'll be a good team, but some people think this team could win the NFC. I just don't see it. Taylon Reynolds, do you think DJ Moore will have more touchdowns this year than previous years? I hope so. I mean, that's one area where his statistic has been kind of deflated. You know, he's never had a 10-plus touchdown season, but the Panthers have just been horrific offensively. They have not had good quarterback play. So you're hoping he helps Justin Fields and Justin Fields helps him, and this turns into an awesome partnership, and he has 8 to 10 touchdowns. That'd be great. Mike Nintendo, do you think the Bears will sign Clark, Floyd, or Clowney? I'd love to get one of them in here, man, and I don't really care which one it is. I think all three of these guys would help. Floyd and Clowney are proven run defenders. Floyd improved as a pass rusher with the Rams. Clark is good at both. Clowney's not the best pass rusher, but he's a great run stopper. I'd be fine with any of these three, or quite frankly, I'd sign 2 of them. Daniel Atkins gets the final word. Alex Leatherwood, bounce back player for the Bears. What are your thoughts on how he will progress from illness that sapped his power that led him to being a backup in Chicago? Let me just say this. Bounce back year from what? He's been bad. So maybe breakout year? That'd be nice. He's not going to start for this team, but look, if Alex Leatherwood can be a reliable backup, a guy that can play tackle or guard, be like a number 6, number 7 offensive lineman for you, that's great. I don't have high expectations for him at this point. Get him in there. Let him compete. Barring a disaster, he will not be a starter for this team. Appreciate all the questions here on Bears Now. Be sure to follow me on social media at HGramNFL on Twitter and on Instagram. We'll answer all of your questions over there at HGramNFL on both. If you didn't get your question answered on the show, hit me up on social and we will get those questions answered. All right, who's your least favorite Bear of all time? Least favorite. What do you guys think? Least favorite Bear of all time. Come on.
I could answer my favorite if you want me to.
I know who your favorite is.
Do you?
Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah.
Rouillier.
Bring back Mitch. Bring back Mitch. Bring back Mitch.
I take him as a backup.
Bring back Mitch.
Matt
I
Nagy
love
says
me,
Mitch Trubisky or Cody Parkey. You know, Cody Parkey will never be forgiven in Chicago. The double doink will go down in infamy.
Let's be honest here. I know Mitch Trubisky's tenure in Chicago didn't end well.
Oh, there's been way worse quarterbacks, though.
But if Cody Parkey makes that kick,
that's one of those.
There is like a butterfly effect that could happen. Trubisky and that Bears team, because that team was so loaded with talent.
That team could have made
gone
the
to the
Super Bowl that year. That defense was one of the best in the last 10 years.
It could have went to the Super Bowl. And if they go to the Super Bowl with Matt Nagy and Trubisky, there's a decent chance those two could still be the coach-quarterback duo for the Bears. I mean, that Cody Parkey kick has the biggest butterfly effect. Maybe not even just like it's definitely in Bears history, in my opinion, but NFL history, like the entire landscape could be different. Fields would be on a different team. Like it'd be crazy.
The hype going into 2019 for the Bears was so big, and they didn't live up to it. But you wonder if they would have had they gone on a deep playoff run the year before.
Who would the Bears have played again? I don't remember.
They would have played the Rams, and they hammered the Rams in the regular season. They picked off Goff 4 times. So I think they would have beaten the Rams. It would have been on the road.
What were they? They were the 3 seed?
Bears were the 3, the Rams were the 2. So the Eagles ended up playing the Saints.
Yeah.
And they
the
lost.
Saints were the 1.
But the Saints would have played whoever the lower seed was, because the Bears were the highest seed remaining, so they would have played the Rams, who were the 2 seed, and the Saints would have played. I can't even remember who it was.
Well, if it was Rams,
Bears, Eagle, or Saints, and I don't know who the other team was. Dallas, maybe?
Oh, yeah, they did, because it was in the Coliseum. That was when Malcolm Brown ran.
Yeah, that's when, they could not stop. It was CJ.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
CJ Anderson.
The thumper.
They couldn't stop.
I knew it was a short,
so
thick running
Dallas would have played the Saints, and the Bears would have played the Rams. And I think they could have beaten the Rams again. Like, Goff was flustered when they played Chicago. So
yeah, man, it would have been nice to see Mitch Trubisky work out in Chicago, man.
Listen, that last drive to put them in position was easily his best drive as a Bear. I mean, everything on the line, and
Well, I mean,
Cody Parkey couldn't finish.
You can't forget about the touchdown pass to Jimmy Graham as time expires in the Nickelodeon wildcard game.
How could I forget it? I was live on Bears. That's the only playoff game I've been able to do.
I mean,
and they
how
scored
could you
3
forget
points
about
in
that one?
59 minutes and 59 seconds.
But then that last pass,
Jimmy Graham caught that
One-handed.
and ran straight into the tunnel. He
caught
didn't even
that so
turn. He didn't even turn
nonchalantly
around.
one-handed, too. It was sick.
Oh, man.
All right, you want to get these chugs out of the way?
Javon Wims is a good one, by the way. He dropped the double pass in that game against the Saints.
Right.
What
That's
a
right.
loser.
That's
That's
right.
also another what-if play. If they catch that, I think they're up 10-3 early in that game.
I mean, as bad as the Bears' offense was in that game,
If you get
they
up
still had
early
a chance.
and their defense was good, just get me back to the playoffs. Let's go, Floose. Make it happen. Let's make this thing happen. All right, one more. Oh, are we doing this? Yeah, let's do this now. All right, I'll do a beard bong, $50 beer bong, so you also get a sticker. And Rolly is going to do his shot fun for 1,000 subs on the Heat Report. Do it for Jimmy Buckets. And, hey, we'll be live on the Heat channel for the NBA Finals. I don't know if it'll be solo Rolly or it'll be Rolly and someone else, but we will be live. So, when's game one? Thursday?
Thursday, 8:30 Eastern time. So we'll likely be live at 8 Eastern. So,
Yeah. Cheers.
I appreciate all of the Bears Now supporters that have supported me in subscribing and in supporting Jimmy Butler. That's
Rally around
really
Jimmy
awesome.
Buckets.
And Max Struess. Gotta stop forgetting Max. Bulls legend Max Struess.
Struess has been solid,
also,
man.
you went to DePaul, and maybe my
Chicago.
geography
No,
is
that's
wrong.
Chicago.
Yeah, exactly.
Chicago.
That's right there, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Max Struess, Chicago legend.
Chicago legend. Cheers. Count us down, Rolly, and I'll give you like an extra count. When's the last time you've done one of
I did
these?
one last night. It was straight out of the fridge, ice cold. I think it was the fastest beer shotgun I've ever done because it was so damn cold.
You just
I
had to
literally,
force yourself.
I drank the fastest so I could stop drinking.
There we go.
3, 2, 1.
Barely got me. It's been a while since I've done one. You good? Oh, no. Wrong pipe, Rolly. Do you need a substitute here? Straight down the windpipe for Rolly. Yeah. He still beat me. Well done. Well done. All right, Rolly's going to regroup, and then we are going to knock out our last segment here. Some free agent targets, post-June 1st edition. So take a look at that, and here we go. By the way, I'm going to offer you guys another deal. I'll just make this for me. Rolly doesn't have to participate if he doesn't want to. $5 super chats during this last segment. Oh, and I still got to take that shot for Wasim. So let me do that real quick. $5 super chats during this last segment. Everyone is a shot. We get 10 $5 super chats, it's 10 shots. $5 super chats. Oh, really?
They were highlighted when I'm in there, but now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, they're not moved over.
Let me see. This could be a problem. Hang on, fellas. We got a graphical miscue here. Oh, here. They are lower. I'll move them. Text put them way down there.
They were bolded when I hopped in.
Yeah. Hopefully
I
they're
just realized they were not over in the...
hopefully they're right here, but you never know with Sir Tex. Okay, those are in there, Rolly. It's just those 2-player L3s, right? Well, there's one from Sam, so we're going to count that. $5 super chats. We're taking shots. So there we go. Nah, we'll show them all after. We'll flash all these super chats after this segment, and then we'll get this going. We probably won't loop either, Rolly. That one's good. That looks good. All right, here we go. post-June 1st free agent targets for the Chicago Bears. $5 super chats during this segment is a shot. We already got 2 lined up. Here we go. We just crossed $100 too. One more deal. If we get past 150, I'll do another beer bong. How about that? $47 away. Okay, here we go. Let's get into today's show. You're watching Bears Now by Chat Sports. I'm Harrison Graham, and today's show is sponsored by True Classic. You gotta love True Classic. Their tees, their polos, their jeans, all kinds of stuff to add to your wardrobe. And guess what? You can add or get 25% off with code CHAT at trueclassic.com/chat. Today's show, we're going to take a look at some free agent targets post-June 1st edition. A few of the players we're going to look at have not been released as of yet and may not get released, but guys that could get cut based on the money that could save those specific teams on their cap, considering it's after June 1st. And that's kind of what this graphic explains here. Is several players around the NFL could get cut after June 1st with a less of a dead cap penalty on team salary caps for this year. We've seen that in the past, right? Like Tariq Cohen was a post-June 1st cut, Danny Trevathan, et cetera. It lowers the cap hit for that season for when they get cut, and a few of those will emerge, and maybe the Bears will be interested in signing some of those players. We'll also take a look at some other free agents that remain available. Before we do that, though, name a player that you want the Bears to sign. It can still be Yannick Ngakoue. It can be anybody. Let us know in the comments section down below a player that you think the Bears should sign. Okay, let's jump in here and do some free agent targets. First up, Chase Roullier. We talked about him on our Bears Rumors Roundup on Tuesday. He was released on May 5th by the Washington Commanders and still remains unsigned. He has experience in this scheme, wide zone running scheme. He's done it in the past with Washington, and so that would translate if the Bears wanted to bring him over. Now, he's had some injury concerns in his career, and especially these last 2 years. You look at 2022, only played in 2 games. 2021 played in just 8, so that's playing in 10 of 34 possible games. It's obviously not a standard you want if you are Chicago, but you look at his last fully healthy season, he performed really well. I mean, he graded out nicely on PFF in 2020, 77 overall, excellent pass blocking score, well above average as a run blocker, only had 5 penalties, just gave up 1 sack, and that would be a big improvement from Sam Mustipher. Now, I think the Bears are hopeful that Cody Whitehair and or Lucas Patrick will be an upgrade as well, and I do think that's the case. I think Whitehair and Patrick are better than Sam Mustipher, but Whitehair hasn't played center in several years. Lucas Patrick only played 2 series at center last year, so what if the Bears get into training camp and they're like, I don't know if I feel great about this? Well, maybe Chase Roullier is a guy they would show some interest in, so keep an eye on that name moving forward. Should the Bears upgrade at the center position, type U for upgrade or D for decline? You think you're good with Whitehair and Patrick? Let me know in the comments, U for upgrade, D for decline. What should the Bears do at the center spot? Next up is Kendall Fuller, and full disclosure, these next 4 guys are players who are not free agents as of now, but theoretically could get cut by their teams. Now, if Washington were to cut Kendall Fuller, it would save them $8.5 million, so that could happen, right? Now, Kendall Fuller played well last year for the Commanders and has been good for them since he signed, I think 3 years ago, signed a 4-year, $40 million deal. He's played well. I actually like where the Bears sit at corner, but what if that second outside spot, maybe they don't feel Tyreek Stevenson is ready. They want to keep Kyler Gordon at nickel, Kendall Vildor, you want to upgrade there. Maybe you give Stevenson like a redshirt year, and if Kendall Fuller were to get cut, you could sign him to a 1-year contract. Again, he obviously has to get let go first, but obviously his brother Kyle played here as well. I would be interested in this possibility if he were to become a free agent. Something I'm absolutely interested in, and beyond interested, I have put it into motion, is rocking True Classic clothes. Their shirts, their polos, very comfortable, and it's a perfect Father's Day gift. With Father's Day almost here, dads have plenty of ties. They've got tools in the garage, baggy T-shirts. Give your dad, your father figure, whoever, the gift of looking good and feeling good with True Classic. They've changed my wardrobe game. They can do that for you and your dad as well. Ultra soft tees are fitted in all the right places with True Classic with just enough room where you need it. You never want to wear anything else, but True Classic isn't just about t-shirts. They have everything you need to build up your wardrobe, from button-downs to Henleys and to polos as well. True Classic also has a line of stylish jeans and chinos and a collection of activewear that's perfect for anyone who wants to stay comfortable while staying active. And if you're not completely satisfied with your purchase, True Classic offers a 100% risk-free guarantee and easy returns. With affordable prices and high-quality clothing, True Classic is a no-brainer for anyone looking to upgrade their wardrobe. Don't settle for anything less than the best. Go ahead and get going with True Classic today. So when you check out, use code CHAT. Get yourself 25% off at trueclassic.com/chat. Code CHAT for 25% off. That link is in the description and comments of this video. Show your pop some love this Father's Day. Easy and comfortable gifts for your dad with True Classic. Okay, let's go to our next player here. Uchenna Nwosu, the edge out of Seattle. And Nwosu is an interesting player. Now, the Seahawks run a 3-4. At least they did last year with Sean Desai, who's now in Philadelphia. Desai was helping run that defense, of course. And if the Seahawks cut him, it would save them almost $8.3 million. Now, Nwosu's a good player, so they may not do this. But if they want to trim some cap and maybe opt to go sign like a Leonard Floyd or something like that for cheaper, then maybe Nwosu could be a guy that hits the road. Now, I would be a little surprised by this one since he did have 9.5 sacks and 26 quarterback hits last year. But these surprise cuts happen every year. You just never know where teams are sitting with their salary cap and their roster construction. So I wouldn't be completely surprised if a player like Nwosu hit the open market. I would absolutely be interested. Now, what is the Bears' biggest positional need in your eyes? I think it's pretty clearly edge, but maybe you think it's a different position. Let me know in the comment section down below the Bears' biggest positional need. You can always beef up that defensive line even more, and Mike Purcell is a guy that could be available. Denver spent a lot of money this offseason. Maybe if they want to save a little bit, cutting Purcell could make some sense. That would save the Broncos $3.5 million. Rotation defensive tackle, and look, you could add to this rotation, right? You added Andrew Billings, you drafted Gervon Dexter, and Zach Pickens. Purcell could rotate in there as well. Certainly would not be closed off to that idea if he were to become available. Kevin Dotson, the offensive guard from the Pittsburgh Steelers, is next up here as he could be a cap casualty in Pittsburgh. He saves them almost $3 million, $2.74 million. Doesn't look like he's going to start, but he has starting experience. And again, you look at the Bears' offensive line. He wouldn't start here either, but who's your best backup guard right now? Lucas Patrick, who's also probably your backup center. And keep in mind, Lucas Patrick was the second worst graded guard last year, which is the position he played to start the year. I know he was playing with the broken hand, but still, he was bad. He played better in those couple of series at center before he had a season-ending injury, but Ja'Tyre Carter, hopefully he steps up, 7th-round pick from last year. Maybe Leatherwood or Borum kicks inside and can handle. My point is, you could use a rotation guard. I don't think there's any doubt, and Dotson's a guy that has some experience and has played at a decent level. Now, subscribe to Bears Now. We're trying to get to 67,000 subscribers. We're less than 100 away. Can you help us get there? Hit that sub button. Would love to get there by the end of the week. It's youtube.com/BearsNow. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel today. Okay, let's take a look at some edge rushers. We've hit a lot of these guys in the past. We haven't talked a ton about Dwayne Smoot, though, who has been with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we probably should talk about him more. I saw NBC Sports Chicago mention him, and his name's been bouncing around. He's been consistent, right? Last 4 years, 5 or more sacks. Not the best run stopper. He's kind of just a bigger but less, I guess, pass rushing ability than Yannick Ngakoue. He's not a great run stopper, but he's going to get you 5 to 6 sacks as a rotation rusher. You could certainly use that on this team. If you sign any of these guys and they give you 5 or more sacks, that would be an upgrade from what you had last year, considering Jaquan Brisker led the team as a rookie safety with 4 sacks. Next up is, guess who? Yannick Ngakoue. Listen, we can only say so many different things without saying the same thing when it comes to Ngakoue. I get he's flawed. I get he's not a great run stopper. Maybe something's off considering he keeps bouncing around teams. But you know what? He gets home to the quarterback. 8 or more sacks in all 7 years of his career. 9.5 last year, 10 the year before. I get his pressure rate went down last year, but he still found a way to get home. Even if he only gave you 5 or 6 sacks, again, that is an upgrade from what you've had. I would absolutely sign this guy in a heartbeat. Next up is Jadeveon Clowney, kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum. Inconsistent as a pass rusher, but a damn good run stopper. He's still great against the run. Just 2 sacks last year, but 9 the year before. So how about you meet me in the middle? 5 sacks? Give me 5 sacks. Give me some good run stopping production. I'm in. 1-year deal. Let's go. Get Jadeveon Clowney to Chicago. All these guys bring us a little bit something different to the table, but at the end of the day, they're all upgrades from what you've had at the edge spot in the past year. Leonard Floyd, bring Chicago's finest home? Maybe. He's been more of a 3-4 guy in his career, which obviously he was drafted to be in Chicago and has always been a great run stopper, but he evolved as a pass rusher when he went to the Rams. Now, it helps when you get to play with Aaron Donald and guys of that caliber, but 29 sacks in 3 seasons out west, again, even if he gives you just 5 sacks in his run-stopping ability, I'm in. I'm going to be consistent with it, guys. I'm not expecting 10 sacks from Leonard Floyd. Can you give me 5 or 6 and good run-stopping production? He's only 30 years old. I think that is very much within the realm of possibility for what he can bring to the table. Pick an edge out of these 4 guys. Who would you like to see in Chicago? Type DS for Dwayne Smoot. Type YN for Yannick Ngakoue. JC for Jadeveon Clowney. Or you can type LF for Leonard Floyd. Let me know in the comments below who you would like to see the Bears sign. Maybe you want Frank Clark. Type FC if you want Frank Clark. Listen, Frank Clark is a proven postseason player. He's also been solid in regular seasons, albeit he didn't quite live up to expectations in that regard based on his contract with the Chiefs. Now, there's some rumblings that Kansas City and Clark might reunite. They might end up keeping him after all. We'll see what happens there. Chris Jones has been recruiting him to return to Kansas City, but regardless of if it's Clark, Ngakoue, Leonard Floyd, I don't really care. You look at this defensive line depth chart, you tell me, Rasheem Green or Leonard Floyd? I'll take Leonard Floyd. You tell me, Travis Gibson or Yannick Ngakoue? I'll take Yannick Ngakoue. I think Gibson and Robinson can have roles. I think Rasheem Green can have a role as a rotation guy. I do think DeMarcus Walker will be one of your starters, but you can add more. There is not a ton of depth at this position. Adding 1 or 2 edge rushers is completely reasonable if you are the Chicago Bears. All right, 10 other free agents just to keep an eye on, so 20 in total, 5 new guys, potential post-June 1 guys, 5 edge rushers, and then 10 more players here. Cameron Brate, we talked about him on Monday's video. I would be interested in him as a 3rd tight end. Marcus Peters, if you want another veteran corner. Robert Quinn, another edge rusher, if you want to bring him back. Matt Ioannidis has edge, defensive tackle flexibility. George Fant, if you want to swing tackle, he's out there. Akeem Hicks, you want to bring another former Bear back. He still remains available. Ben Jones, another center option. How about DeAndre Houston-Carson? Bears haven't re-signed him, but he's been your special teams ace for years. He's still out there. I know you guys asked me about Robbie Gould. If you want to cut Cairo Santos and sign Robbie Gould, that's still an option. Shelby Harris, another defensive tackle as well. The point being, there are still good players out there. The Bears have the cap space to add a couple of these guys. I'm not saying it has to happen right now. The Bears have shown they could sign guys in July or even August before the season starts, but I do think some movement could start to happen with June 1st upon us. Subscribe to the channel. Appreciate all the love and support. If you miss any of our coverage, well, that's on you. Subscribe, turn on the notification bell. That way you never miss a video. Sam Lectora says, get going. So that's shot number 1. All $5 super chats equal a shot. Wasim with the 5 as well. Appreciate that. And then a 2 from Vibin. He says, does the UDFA Andre Schmidt beat out Cairo Santos? I'd be surprised, but he does have a stronger leg. So if he kicks the ball accurately throughout the offseason and in the preseason, he could have a shot. He could have a shot. I'd give him about a 10 to 15% chance. I don't think it's impossible, but I do think Santos, it's going to take a lot to unseat him. He's been pretty good with the Bears. So what was that? 2 shots, Rolly, that I owe?
Yeah, just 2. Just 2. Nothing crazy.
Not 1, just 2.
Just 2.
Cheers.
Nothing crazy.
There's 1, 2. All right, fellas. Appreciate all the love and support today. Crossing over $100. Rolly, Any words to the fine ladies and gentlemen getting heat over 1,000?
Yeah, I
Show
really
some love.
appreciate y'all for showing the love to Rolly. You've been so kind since I've hopped on for the full time, basically, at the start of this offseason, and for agency during the draft. And it's nice to see you guys showing some love again to the new channel that I'm starting up at the Heat Report.
Why don't you throw the Heat channel link in there, and then I'll get the Bulls one in there as well, as we launched a Bulls channel a few weeks back. Patrick Seatman's working hard to get you guys videos over there. Also, I made my Bulls Report debut with Seeps last week. We did a perfect offseason plan from each of us. So there's the Heat link. Here's the Bulls link as well. If you want to just support Chat Sports as a whole, go subscribe to both. We would appreciate it. And I would just recommend doing that with our NBA channels, because the NBA offseason is upon us. We got the finals the next couple weeks, and then draft, free agency. We're going to be popping videos out every single day on our NBA channel. So if you want to stay locked in on what's happening there, subscribe. You'll see myself, Rolly, Seeps, all the other guys here at Chat Sports, bringing you guys everything that's happening in the NBA. So appreciate all of that support. That being said, shout out to Rolly, shout out to you guys. I'm Harrison Graham. We're going to sign off here on Bears Now. We'll see you guys soon here on the channel.